here's a number that might shock you. According to a 2025 Charles Schwab survey, the average American believes they need $839,000 in net worth just to feel financially comfortable. And yet, 1 in 3 Americans right now has zero emergency savings. The median amount people have tucked away for emergencies is $500. So there's a massive gap between the number people think they need and the reality of what's sitting in their bank accounts. Today, I'm going to break down what financial security actually costs, what the research says about the real number that changes your life, and why most people are chasing the wrong target entirely. Let's start with what Americans are telling us right now. Bankrate's 2025 Financial Freedom Survey found that 77% of U.S. adults say they are not completely financially secure. That number has been climbing from 72% in 2023 to 75% in 2024 to 77% in 2025. And here's the part that really stings. 32% of Americans say they are not financially secure and believe they never will be. And when you look at the generational breakdown, it gets even more revealing. 84% of Gen Xers, people between 45 and 60, say they don't feel financially secure. That's the highest of any generation. These are people in their peak earning years, with mortgages, kids heading to college, and aging parents. They're caught in the middle of everything, and the pressure is crushing them. When asked what income would make them feel comfortable, 45% said they'd need at least $100,000 a year, and more than 1 in 4 said they'd need $150,000 or more. Meanwhile, the average full-time worker in this country earns about $81,500. So more than half of Americans believe they need to earn significantly more than they currently do just to feel okay. But here's where it gets interesting. An AFLAC report found that the average worker says they need an additional $70,000 per year in household income to feel stable. However, the people earning over $100,000 a year wanted an even bigger increase, $86,500 more, compared to households earning under $50,000, who said they'd need about $48,800 more. The more people earn, the more they think they need. That's not a math problem. That's a psychology problem. Researchers call this the hedonic treadmill. You get a raise, you upgrade your car, you move to a bigger apartment, you eat at nicer restaurants. 6 months later, your new lifestyle feels normal, and you're stressed about money again. The goalpost moves every single time. And this is why people earning $200,000 a year still feel broke. It's not because $200,000 isn't enough money. It's because their spending expanded to fill every dollar. Every raise became a new subscription, a nicer vacation, a bigger lease payment. And the feeling of not enough followed them to every new income level like a shadow. So what does the research say about the actual number where money starts making a real difference in your daily happiness? Back in 2010, Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman published a famous study that said happiness plateaus at about $75,000 a year. Anything above that, and your day-to-day emotional well-being didn't really improve. But newer research from Matthew Killingsworth at the University of Pennsylvania pushed back on this. His data showed that happiness keeps increasing with income, well beyond $500,000 a year, with no clear plateau for most people. However, and this is key, for the unhappiest 20% of people, happiness did flatten out at around $100,000. After that, more money didn't help them at all. What does this tell us? If you're miserable because of broken relationships, poor health, or no sense of purpose, a bigger paycheck won't fix that. But if your stress comes from not being able to pay your bills, not being able to handle a $1,000 emergency, or lying awake at night wondering how you'll cover rent, then yes, more money directly reduces that pain. And right now, that pain is widespread. A 2026 U.S. News survey found that 43% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency expense from savings. Nearly a quarter of all Americans have no emergency savings at all. 67% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. These aren't just numbers. This is the daily reality for most of the country. So let me give you a practical framework, because I think the conversation around financial security has been hijacked by giant, intimidating numbers. You don't need $839,000 to start feeling secure. You need to hit 3 specific milestones in order. Milestone 1 is your $1,000 starter emergency fund. This single step separates you from 43% of the country. Having $1,000 in a savings account means a flat tire or an urgent care visit doesn't destroy your entire month. This is your first wall of defense. Get there as fast as you can. Milestone 2 is 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses saved in a high-yield savings account. If your monthly bills are $3,000, you're targeting $9,000 to $18,000. This is where the stress starts to melt. You can lose your job and not panic. You can say no to a bad situation at work because you have options. This money buys you time, and time is the most valuable thing you can own. And here's something most people overlook. The psychological shift that happens at this stage is enormous. When you know you can survive 3 months without a paycheck, you stop making decisions from fear. You negotiate harder. You walk away from bad deals. You sleep better. That buffer doesn't just protect your bank account. It rewires how you think about every financial decision you make. Milestone 3 is investing 15% or more of your income into retirement accounts and letting compound interest do the heavy lifting. A 30-year-old who invests $500 a month at an average 10% return will have over $1 million by age 60. You don't need to earn $200,000. You need to be consistent with what you have. The real secret to financial security isn't a number. It's the gap between what you earn and what you spend. If you earn $60,000 and spend $45,000, you're in a stronger position than someone earning $150,000 and spending $149,000. Wealth is what you keep, not what you make. So stop comparing yourself to some imaginary finish line. Stop letting social media convince you that $839,000 is the minimum requirement for peace of mind. Start where you are. Build your $1,000 buffer, stack 3 months of expenses, and automate your investments. If this hit home for you, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.